Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another exciting episode of Vanilla Minecraft, where we talk about games and do mindless stuff in Minecraft while talking about games. I am your host, Zaffageek, and the other guy is...
Labrangle.
There we go. This is me speaking very sultry. I'm gonna stop now. Okay, there we go. So, we were talking about some management games. What?
That reminds me of one of the Simpsons episodes where Apu says, "This is how you speak when you learn to speak English from watching porno movies."
I was busy drinking Coke there. Oh.
Management games.
Yeah, I'll not edit that out. Sim games. So you were talking about Evil Genius, and then two other games that you couldn't think of the name.
Yes.
I've got an interesting question to pose to you
Yes.
after you've thought of those games. So go on.
Right. Well, in all fairness and honesty, these might not technically fall into the management category because they're damn close. The one is a game called Cultures,
Mm-hmm.
in which you take Vikings and did you ever play the Settlers games?
Yes.
Now, this is technically not a management game, but what makes the Cultures different is that you have to provide housing for the people. You have to provide them with basic needs like furniture and oil and food and stuff like that. So technically it does count as a management game. But what I found a little bit frustrating about the Cultures game is it had an identity crisis as well. It wanted to be a real-time strat at the same time as being a management game.
Okay.
And you had levels that you had to achieve a goal, which made it difficult to invest in your town and build it up to something that you wanted in terms of management. You ended up most of the time focusing on a specific tech and working to that so you could get the soldiers out on the field or fulfill the trade requirement or whatever. So that's unfortunately where it failed a little bit. The second game, which is a little bit more of a sim game, had all the right stuff going for it, but for some reason that I can't tell you why, it doesn't hold your attention for long enough. What it is called is Majesty. There were two, Majesty 1 and 2. I can't remember the second Majesty's name, but basically it takes the D&D player, the D&D hero, and puts you in the opposite roles. So you would be the village that is being attacked by a band of orcs, and you have to put out contracts for heroes to come defend your town.
Oh, that sounds so amazing.
And it was really good, but unfortunately there was something lacking there. You would build your town, you would build your village, your people would then get going, and there would be a wolf den nearby, or it would spawn nearby. Then you would build a guild house for something like a fighter's guild house.
Yeah.
And that would attract a fighter or two or whatever. And you would then post a reward on taking out wolf den. And if it's enough for the fighter, he would go and do it, and then he would come back and collect his payment, and then he would stay in your village.
Okay.
And you could then make back your money from the adventurers by building a blacksmith to give them armor upgrades and stuff like that.
Oh, that sounds so fucking amazing.
It is a lot of fun, Majesty and Majesty 2. But there is something lacking. I can't quite put my finger on it. Perhaps if you play it, you could tell me what it was that is lacking. But in concept, it is amazing, and you get to build your town and all of that, and it's quite cool. I think perhaps its failing, like Cultures, might be that it's objective based. Maybe, I don't know.
So it's like,
it depends,
get heroes to defend you against 4 attacks, and that's what you do.
Yeah, or you would take like a RTS style map, and there would be the bad guys on the one side of the map, which is then like an evil tower or a goblin den or whatever. And once all the bad guys have been eliminated on the map, you win.
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe that's its failing in terms of a management game. But the concept was fantastic, and I'm wondering if there isn't perhaps something similar to that focuses more on the management side of it. Because it did a lot of things right. Like, you had to stroke the egos of the heroes. If you posted a bounty that was too low or not interesting enough, or if the monsters didn't have enough prestige, the higher level guys wouldn't go after it because it's beneath them.
Yeah. Now, there's a game out on Steam, but it's not that good because the moment you game the game, right?
Yes.
Then the game becomes too easy. It's called Guild Commander, which essentially puts you in as the commander of a guild, and you have to go and you have to basically take care of quests around the world. You send out your mercenary guild people, your mercenaries, out to do certain things in the world. And it's amazing, but the moment, it's like one of those things, the moment you reach like a certain level of play style, then it's essentially you just start the game, you're like, oh, okay, you can look at something like, yeah, I can send out these two guys, they'll finish it, and while they're doing that, I can send out these two guys to another thing, and before you know
it's too easy to crack the game.
Yeah, so before you know it, you would literally, things that in the beginning took you, like, you spend all your focus on this one quest, and at the end of that, you're like, okay, cool, I'm gonna finish these 7 quests, it'll take me 10 minutes in total because I can handle it, and then after those 7 minutes, like, thank you finished the game. Like, what? Really? How? You know? Sleep.
I understand. On my way.
And that's the thing. You need it's an indie developed game. So obviously not a lot of... You can't get AAA type of sim managements for it. But it's still... I hate it when a sim management thing goes on... blatantly tells you need to do this. Like in Prison Architect. It's a case of, you need to build a prison. They tell you, these are the 4 things you need to start off your prison. Thank you, enjoy your day. You start off your prison, and then there's other...
Figure out.
Yeah, there's objectives, but it's not as blatantly stated as objectives. You look at it like, oh shit, my prisoners need to see their family. Let me build a visitation room. Oh crap, my prisoners need a area where they can relax, where they have free time during the day. Let me build this, you know. That's... You look at that and like, okay, what can I do to keep the prisoners happy in a way?
Yes.
It's not telling you, build this to do this. It's telling you, hey, these guys are unhappy. Fix it. You're like, oh shit, how do I fix it?
Make a plan. Here's how you could do it. You could do this, or however you want to. There are multiple means to the end. I like that. There is a game that just made me think now. I saw it on Steam. I saw a video of it, and it may be quite cool. It may be just crap as well, but I would like to take a look at it if I get a chance. It's called Bogtail. And from what I've seen on the video, it looks like a medieval version of SimCity.
Nice.
That might be worth it. Perhaps.
Yeah, there's another thing that I think we will enjoy, that we should play on stream if at all possible. I just thought of it because your OCD would totally kick in. It's called Viscera Cleanup Detail.
Okay.
So what happens? The premise of the game is you are essentially you're a cleaner, right? And then what happens? You go into an arena after a first-person battle has taken place, first-person shooter battle has taken place, and you have to go clean up all the gibs and all the blood on the walls. And
Okay.
there's one I bought Shadow Warrior. I got motion sickness from that game. First game ever to do that with me. But anyway, story for another day. And I got the Viscera cleanup detail for that game. So you will enter that game's stages and clean up all the blood that the player just left. That's the premise of the game. And it's amazing. It looks fun.
I am nervous of that because let me tell you an instance where my OCD got so much, or absolutely became, best way of saying this, where my OCD got the better of me in every respect. Is there was this crappy little game. I will hate it for the rest of my entire existence. I will curse its name every night I go to sleep. Peggle Knights Deluxe.
Yeah.
Heard of it?
I've heard of Peggle, yeah.
Yeah, it's the thing where you shoot the ball and you have to make all the balls hit the balls and then you clear the stage or whatever, right?
Yeah. So it's quite a ballsy game.
Yeah, so basically there's red pegs and blue pegs and green pegs, and if you get enough red pegs you will activate the superpower of the character you're playing with or something like that. It's been a while and I've repressed most of it.
Okay.
It's fine if you're not obsessive compulsive. You can play the game through and say, oh, that was a good waste of time. However, if you're like me, you will spend the next 3 years of your life trying to ensure that you get every single peg cleared on every single level and you get all the awards and all the achievements.
Okay.
Stay away from it if you have any form of obsessive behavior.
Okay, here's the Viscera cleanup detail. I haven't played it, but I think they have like a time limit.
Yeah.
For you to clean the level. Now, here's the thing. You could clean the level, but you have a mop. Essentially, you have a mop and a bucket of water. So you clean the level, and you bump over the bucket of water, that blood goes all over the level again.
I see.
You see? So it's literally a case of you need to be conscious of your surroundings, and it looks fun. And you also have like stuff where there's biomass, then you burn it and then you need to clean up the scorch marks. I think that's what I heard people talk about. I'm like, oh, that sounds really fucking fun, you know. That sounds like a thing that you and I can play.
What is the interface? Is it
first person
like a
shooter
person, or is it is that the interface where you are a first person shooter after the first person shooter had come and gone?
Yeah,
I understand.
and then you clean up the mess the first person shooters left. The players left.
Yeah.
No, it sounds like a lot of fun, and I think it would be cool to play it like together with you. Like, come on, dude, we need to clean this up.
I can see part of my life disappearing into that. So yeah, first person shooters. I just had a thought now when you were talking about arena cleanup and all of that. A first person shooter that started out as amazing, continued to be amazing, and then kind of lost its way entirely was the Unreal Tournament series.
Okay.
You look at the original Unreal Tournament.
I haven't even asked you the thing about the sim games, but continue on. We can do that the next episode.
Oh, wait. Ask me now, because I might be going on this tangent for a while. So let's wrap up that first.
Okay, let me just try and get air. Okay, so if you were to make a sim management game, right? Okay, take any sim game you know of, like a management type game. And if you could change some things to make it better.
Yes, I've thought about this many times.
Or if you could make the perfect sim game, whichever one. I mean, we've got a minute and a half left, so we can continue on with this in the next episode and then continue on with the first-person shooters.
Right, well, yes, I've thought about this at length, and I absolutely adored Evil Genius. It was really awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And to an extent, this applies, or what I'm going to say applies to Dungeon Keeper as well.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, how I would do this different. Let me just use the evil genius as a premise. A lot of what I say can be applied to Dungeon Keeper as well. But what I would have done differently with evil genius, because it left one feeling a little bit hungry, is I would have you start off choosing your character as usual, but you pick your own island.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of being given an island, you can either generate your own island, or you can pick from a selection of islands or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then what I would have is multi-layered base construction, where you can have, instead of just one level, you have multiple levels. So you can go down 3 or 4 levels or whatever, instead of just having it all on a single layer.
Mm-hmm.
And have it so that you can manipulate almost the whole island. Not just like this is your buildable space.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you got. Have it so that anything on the island can be manipulated and changed to a degree, obviously. I mean, within reason.
Mm.
Then on the world domination map, instead of just sending henchmen out and then they do a mission, they come back with gold, what I would do is I would set up mini levels on there. So you would then pick a location, say, this section has a potential for so much money and it's got so much heat potential, right?
Mm-hmm.
What I would then do is I'd have a separate mini game inside there where you would then send 2 or 3 guys
Yes.
to go set up a little base type operation, like for example, a drug smuggling ring,
Mm-hmm.
or a arms dealer or something, and then you would then take a building, put the guys in there, and set it up to generate a certain amount of income, and then you can upgrade it, whatever, and you then have that as a constant source of income generation to your main island.
Mm-hmm.
Then if you aren't handling it properly, it will generate enough heat that the authorities will crack down on it. Then you have like a UFO style battle on that app that you created, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're with me, like
Yeah.
time semi turn based.
Mm-hmm.
And if you manage to pull it off, then it only generates a little bit amount of heat, and the authorities may or may not find your island and come
Yes.
mess around with you. If, however, you fail and they seize the property, then you can't rebuild there for a certain amount of time, or ever, depending on whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it will generate a lot of heat because your minions will be captured and they will tell the authorities about the island, and you'll generate a lot of cock for your own island.
Well, that sounds cool, yeah?
And if you manage your out of base operations
Mm-hmm.
properly, you could then have a very strong income generation for your main base. And it's not, I don't want it to be this micromanaged thing where you have to check on your little bases every now and then. It's just sort of like this, you're doing it right, cool.
Yeah, sort of
Money
like
is coming in every X
sort
amount
of
time.
sort of like, let's say you do 4 missions successfully.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, cool. You've done the 4 missions successfully. You're not generating. This is the average of your heat generation. This is how much heat you will generate over X amount of time. And then when you start generating above a certain amount of heat, they'll be like, oh, you need to do a couple of missions again to throw them off your scent, kind of thing.
Yeah, or something like that. Or you have to go
Sleep.
send a scientist there to cover you, or a social minion to go throw them off the trail, or something like that. So depending on how you manage it,
Mhm.
I'm on my way, would influence of how much action is generated on that specific tile or
Okay,
block
cool.
or
Yeah.
entity.
Well, while you're on your way, we've reached the end of this recording, this episode.
Yes.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. Who does this one
This
go out
one
to?
is Clarice.
Clarice. Thank you,
All the
everybody,
Clarices out
including
there.
Clarice's. Thanks for watching, and until next time, all of y'all should have a good one.
Till next time, goodbye.